10 coins later is better? You guys are crazy. You've lost your damn mind. If you want to give me $21 right now, and then in 10 rounds, I'll give you $10 and pay it back, I'll take that loan any day of the week. Isn't there like 8% inflation in SAP? Like the gold isn't worth as much as it used to be? That isn't how it works. This is a video game. Maybe for you, you princes of Maine, you kings of New England. Not for me, this is my life. Hey, Shog Noble, thanks for the 2,100 bits. Really appreciate it. How do I do you have Wealth Simple Cash? It's kind of hard to, as a Canadian, it's harder than it should be to give money back to Americans. If you're two Canadians, it's no problem. Interac e-transfer, Wealth Simple Cash, $5 bill with a hockey pond on it. If you have to give money to an American, it's really hard because you could use PayPal, but I'm like, it's just a pain in the butt, man. Go into PayPal, make sure you type in their email address 100% perfectly. Then it's like, are you buying something or paying for goods and services? And you're like, I don't know. I don't want them to get like audited by the IRS for like this $40 repayment or whatever. But I also don't want to pay PayPal 2% just to send it. Like PayPal's literally not doing anything in the process. Here's a solution. Your solution is ass. Well, you know what my actual solution is that I don't find myself in debt to Americans. That's my solution. PayPal in San Francisco is basically like a never-ending frat party where everybody earns $500,000 salaries because their business is just free money. That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, I get that it's also just kind of like the bank. That's why I was so offended when there was that banking crisis earlier this year. I was like, how could you be out of business? You're the bank. You don't understand that now it's duration risk. They got a lot of liquidity when rates were super low. And of course, when you have cash, the cash wants to generate a yield. So they put it into like treasuries that were yielding 25 basis points. And then when the environment changed and the liquidity got pulled out, but you don't do anything. People give you money for nothing. All you have to do is manage your duration risk. That's it, man. And you screwed that up? You're the place where people give their money for free? And you couldn't even handle that? Don't get into the streaming business. It's too tough for you. It's the second easiest business on the planet. Next to banking. You forgot about FinDom? Well, I think that's reasonably, well, and let's not say reasonably tough necessarily, but I think it's tougher than streaming or banking. Because they could be giving their money to anyone. There's plenty of people out there in the FinDom industry, I'm sure. You got lots of competition. In Canada, there's 5 banks. Canada didn't have a banking crisis this year, so maybe maybe it's because there's an oligopoly. I go to 5 or 6 banks when you could stop at just one. That's true. You could stop at just one. Unlike Lay's potato chips, TD Bank goes hard. Wow, tell me you're a TD stan without telling me well, I guess you told me you were a TD stan by telling me you were a TD stan, now that I think about it. They all suck. I went with, my progression in life, I banked with whoever my parents banked with as a kid. Then when I went to university, I looked up who had the ATMs on campus, and I switched my savings account to that bank. So when I took money out of the ATM, I didn't get charged $3 for having a different bank every single time. Then when I got out of university, I went back to the bank my parents were with, and I've been with them ever since. Even though at some point my parents swapped banks. They were like, just so you know, we're swapping banks because we're not happy with our service. And I was like, all right, I am happy with my service, but you do you. Which one? I'm not telling you that shit. It's privileged information.